Alright, welcome back to Go Again Gaming. We are going to be creating a investigator character for Call of Cthulhu. I recently got all of the Call of Cthulhu books from Chaosium, from various game stores around the UK, and just wanted to start making a character and getting into the flavour and theme of this awesome game. I love the setting. I'm a massive fan of Cthulhu mythos. I've started reading a lot of the books recently, all the old school books by H.P. Lovecraft himself, and going to be playing Eldritch Horror this month with some friends as part of like a Halloween video, basically. So look out for that. It's going to be good fun. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and what really introduced me to this whole lore and mythos. But we're going to be creating a character today, and that is from the Investigator Handbook, which I've got here. The Call of Cthulhu Investigator Handbook. We're going to be creating a character based on this. So the first step is to generate characteristics. So a characteristic is one of 8 numbers that create the foundations for an investigator. In the game, each characteristic represents an aspect of an investigator: intelligence, dexterity, etc., etc. These values are generated randomly by rolling 2 or more 6-sided dice. So it seems fairly easy. So we are going to be doing this, and each rolled result is then multiplied by 5 to give a percentile number that may range between 15% and 90%. So this game is all based on percentages, and in order to sort of succeed on a roll, you have to roll lower than what your percentage is. So you can't go over your skill, basically, otherwise you fail because it's too hard for you. So we're just going to roll and see what happens. So the first one is strength, which is roll 3d6 and then multiply by 5 to determine strength. So we got 10, so we got 50 strength, so it's not too bad, I guess. 50 strength. Then we got constitution is 3d6, so let's roll these. We got 4, we got 9 on there, so 9 times 5 is 45, I think. Yep, 9 times 5 is 45. Then we have dexterity. Oh, we do. Okay, now we do the size first, which is roll 2d6 plus 6 and multiply by 5. 2d6 plus 6 is 3 plus 6 is 9, so 45 size. So not the biggest. Dexterity is 3d6. Multiply by 5. So we've got 9, so that's 45 as well. So we're pretty average at the moment. Appearance 3d6 multiplied by 5. So that is 9 as well, so that's 45 again. So we're getting a lot of 45s here. Intelligence is 2d6 plus 6 multiplied by 5. 2d6 plus 6 multiplied by 5, so that's 5 plus 6 is 11, so 55 intelligence. So fairly intelligent. Well, just above average, I would say. And then power is roll 3d6 and multiply by 5. So I think power is used for like spells and stuff, so we're going to do this. Wow, okay, the power is pretty good. So we got 10, so we got 12 multiplied by 5, so that's 12 multiplied by 5 is 60. And then we've got education, which is 2d6 plus 6. 2d6, again, very good roll there. So we're very highly educated and highly intelligent. So we've got 10 there plus 6. 10 plus 6 is 16 times 5, that's pretty good. 16 times 5 is 80. Pretty good. That is right, isn't it? Yeah, 2d6 plus 6 multiplied by 5. Yeah, so 16 times 5 is 80. So very, very intelligent, which is decent. Then we do our luck. So that is basically just 3d6 multiplied by 5. and that is 11, so that's 55 luck as well. Luck is basically like an expendable resource that you can use to alter the rolls of your things. And as you say there, you've got a current value and obviously your actual value as well. Then we have age. A player can choose any age. I'm just going to choose my age as 33. That's how old I am. And let's just plug in my actual name. Let's go Azra de Mullet. Birthplace, England. Residence, let's go London. Occupation is probably going to be like some sort of police officer or detective. Let's just plug in our current HP, which is 9. So we don't have much HP to begin with. Magic points is also 12 right now. Sanity, how do we decide what our sanity is then? Okay, sanity points are the same as the character's power. Yeah, so sanity points are the same as power, which is what? 60? I think that's alright. I think that's pretty much it on that side. Yeah, so we've got, so strength is 50. So that's measures the muscle power of an investigator and how much they can lift and all that sort of stuff, or tightly cling to something. Constitution is health, vigor, and vitality. Poisons and diseases may challenge an investigator's constitution, so we're pretty average there. We've got dexterity, which is physically flexible. A dex roll might be able to grab a support to keep them from falling, or to move faster than an opponent, or to accomplish some delicate task. Then we've got intelligence, which represents how well investigators learn, remember, analyse and solve puzzles, etc. Then we've got size. This dictates the average height and weight into a single number. To see over a wall, to squeeze through a small opening, or to even judge whose head might be sticking up out of the grass. Use the size, etc. Cool. Then we've got power, which is 60, which is pretty good. This indicates force of will. Obviously, sanity also goes into power as well, which is fine. And then education is a measure of the formal and factual knowledge possessed by the investigator, as well as indicating the time the investigator has spent in full-time education. So apparently, I have spent a lot of time in education, because I rolled a 16 on this, which was 6 plus 4 plus 6 times 5 to give me an 80, which was pretty decent. 16 times 5. Pretty good result to get there. So yeah, well educated apparently. And then our luck is luck rolls are often called for the keeper when circumstances external to investigator are in question, or when determining the fickle hand of fate as well. But that's pretty much it. We've got an age modifier as well here, so we are 20s or 30s. Make an improvement check for education. I think we have to roll a dice and see if we succeed on it. So we are going to do that now. We are going to use 2 dice. We have to roll lower than an 80 though, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. So we're using the white dice for the 10s and the green dice for the numbers. We didn't succeed on that anyway, so we're not going to be making any improvements to that. Damage bonus and build. So all investigators must have attributes known as damage bonus and build. Larger and stronger creatures and humans do more physical damage. To determine damage bonus, add strength to size and look up the table on total damage bonus and build, reading across to find the damage bonus. I'm not sure if my damage bonus is going to be very good though, to be honest. So we add strength and size. Strength plus size, isn't it? So we're actually at 95, and that is a damage bonus of 0. So we have no damage bonus on that at all. Yeah, so we're just basically an average size human. Because in this game, you know, 50 to 45 is pretty average. 50 is the average stat, right? So 50 plus 45 is pretty just below average size, basically. So we don't really have any extra additional damage bonus from that. Let's have a look at our hit points now. And hit points are figured out by total by adding constitution and size, but that's already pretty much been done for us. So constitution 45, size 45 equals a 9. So that's already been done. Yeah, then dividing the total by 10. So that's correct. So 45 plus 45 is 90. Divided by 10 is 9. So we've got 9 hit points. So that's pretty cool. Movement rate has already been figured out. This sheet pretty much does it all for you. So move is also 8 already. And that's based on dex and strength, I believe. And now we're going to determine our occupation, which is where all of our stats here are going to start increasing, I believe, as well. So we're still going to do that in a moment. And then we get to allocate occupation skills. After you've chosen occupation, calculate your occupation skill points, and then allocate the resulting total percentage points among the skills listed for your occupation. Alright, so we have to do the occupations now then. And I think we are just going to go with police officer detective, which I think is under police officer. So the plainclothes branch of police agencies, detectives examine crime scenes, gather evidence, conduct interviews, and try to solve homicides, burglaries, and other felonies. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing. Occupation skill points is education times 2 plus dex times 2 or strength times 2. Okay, so our education is 80, so we're going to get 160 points from that, and then we're going to get dex or strength times 2, which is 50. So we get 100 from there, and then so we got 260, I believe. Yeah, 260 points, I believe we have available to use. So let's just write that down somewhere at the moment. Let's just go here. We're going to go with police detective. So police detective, and then we got 260 points. So we've got strength times 2 and education times 2 on here as a police detective. So once you've chosen an occupation, calculate your occupation skill points and allocate the resulting total as percentage points among those skills listed for your occupation, your investigator's professional skills. Points should also be allocated to credit rating within the range indicated. Not all skills need to have points allocated to them, however. Points left undistributed are lost. Note that each skill has a number in parentheses next to it to your investigator's sheet. This is the base chance of success in that skill. Okay. So we've got 260 points for police officer first, and they can do quite a few different things. So they can do art and craft, acting or disguise, firearms, law. So we're gonna have firearms, aren't we? We're definitely gonna have firearms. Handgun. We're definitely gonna have that. Well, let's write down all the skills that we can actually use. So we got art and craft. So we got art and craft, disguise, art and craft, acting, disguise, firearms. So I think we get both firearms here. Law, listen. So law, listen. One interpersonal skill: charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. So let's go with, what sort of police detective would I be? I think I would probably do charm. Charm or persuasion? Let's go with charm. Let's go with charm on that one. Psychology, spot hidden, and then any other skill. What other skills do I want to have? So we've got firearms, fighting. Do you want fighting or drive auto? Dodge. What else do you want to have as a police officer? Intimidate, first aid, jump. Occult. Maybe we should have a cult as well. Yeah, we'll have a cult as well. Maybe he's come across some weird cults as he was been investigating crimes and all this sort of thing. So maybe we should have that as well. Cool. So we've done those. We are going to have some in definitely in handgun. So we're going to have... Should we have 40 in there? So that will actually be a 60, won't it, when we add 20% to it. So if I just make a very brief note, let me just get up a notepad quickly. So I can make a note of what points I'm allocating. So we're going to do 40 to firearms, but that's actually going to be 60. Then we're going to do... yeah, handgun. He's not going to be using any firearms, rifles or shotguns, I don't think. I think he's just going to be handgun, police officer. Then let's do... He's going to be quite good at listening, I think. So we're going to give him 30 to listen. So it's actually going to be a 50. No, let's give him more than that. Let's give him 60 on listen, which is actually 40. So you've got 40 on listen as well. The occult, he's going to have 20 in. So it's actually going to give him 25. So that's 100 points spent already. So we've got 160 left. Probably want to be doing psychology. So let's do 40 in here, which is actually 50. So that gives us 120 points left to spend. We're going to do spot hidden. We're going to bring that up to 40 as well. So that's actually a 65. So that's going to be a 40 as well. So we've got 80 points left, I believe. So we've spent 80, 160. We've spent 180 points so far out of 260. So we've still got 80 points left. Still got 80 points left. So let's bring up the credit rating to 30, which brings us to 60 points left. So let's bring up the handgun to 80 by spending 20. Let's bring up the listen to 70. Let's bring up the occult to 45. So how much do we have left now? We have 30 there, 60 there, which is 90, 40 there, which is 130, 50 there, so that's 180, 220, and then 260. That's it. We've done it all. So that's all of our occupation skills that have been added. So we've got a decent credit rating. I'm pretty sure we can allocate points to credit rating. If not, we've just wasted them. But leave a comment in the section below if you know how that works. But we're pretty good with a firearm. We're very good at listening. And we've studied the occult. Well, our psychology is pretty good, and we're good at spotting things. So this character is basically a police detective, which has ran into the occult quite a lot. And as a result, is pretty good at, obviously, his psychology is pretty good. He's good at spotting hidden clues that not necessarily other people might not. And he's good at listening. He's very, very good, very observational skills, very good at listening. And also very, very good at firing a gun as well, when needed. So that's that. And now we have personal interests. So it says here, multiply the investigator's intelligence by 2 and allocate and allot the points to any skills. Intelligence times 2. Okay, so intelligence times 2 is 110. So we've got 110 points to allocate anywhere else on this list. Which is 110 points is pretty good. So let's go with let's bring up the occult by 10. So we got 100 points left. 100 points left. What should we use here? 100 points left. Let's go with track. Let's put 40 points in track. So that brings it up to 50. So we've got 60 points left. 60 points left. let's do psychoanalysis. I think he would be able to discern who is pretty insane and who's not. So let's go with 50 on this. It brings it up to 51 on psychoanalysis. And then he's got 10 left. So I think we should bring up the charm to 10. So that brings it up to 25. So that's pretty much his personal interests. His personal interests are basically the occult. He is absolutely obsessed with the occult, and that's why he gets these other skills, because his job is his life, basically. This detective of the occult seen some weird shit in his life, and he's like, okay, it's basically consumed him at this point, and that's why he's so good with a gun. And obviously he spends all of his time studying the occult and the weird things and weird people that are involved with it, hence the psychoanalysis, psychology and all this. Okay, that's pretty much it, I think, at the moment. And obviously we look at the story and all this, but I've basically explained how it's going to be. He's basically just going to be an occult detective that is spending his time sort of delving into these cold, weird cases around Arkham and trying to solve them, and as a result just seeing some weird things, picking up some strange objects, and just coming into contact with weird shit. But I think that pretty much does it for the character creation. There's a load more stuff in this book with regards to like creating your story and all of this, but I think that is pretty much it. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, everybody who's tuned in. Not sure whether this has helped anybody create a Call of Cthulhu character. I think there's a few things that I might have missed, but I think mainly it is just like flavour and backstory and everything else that's sort of discussed with your keeper or game master before the game begins. But I think all the stats and everything and rolling your character is pretty much straightforward. I think it's mainly a theme and flavour thing with this game anyway. It's not about min-maxing your character in this. It's more about the theme, the flavour and the ambience and the atmosphere rather than anything else. But yeah, just really getting into character and really getting into the lore of Cthulhu mythos, ready for Eldritch Horror at the end of the month. So make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers.